Welcome into sportsbookreview.com. I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
And this is college football week 11, deep dives, picks, all that good stuff. Hopefully you all are having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I know that there are already guys in the chat that are wanting to talk about Maction. Now, we're going to talk a little bit, but there's not a lot to deep dive here. I'll go ahead and tell you one of my official picks for the evening. If you want to go ahead and get the bet in, I have got, Miami of Ohio and Buffalo over 56. And if that line has gone up, just still go grab it. I think this is well into the 60s, so go ahead and grab that. Opening, we're just going with a pick, right?
Come on.
Rock and roll. Chris had himself a hell of a week last week. We will discuss that. We have got a ton of games, a ton of cancellations, a ton of everything to go over this week. But before we do any of that, let's go ahead and let you know where you need to go and what you need to do, right? SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. That is the website for all of the college football universe, all of the college football gambling universe. We got deep dives on all the games over there. Got a great writing crew. I mean, they bring up stuff I never would have thought to even look into, and they are fantastic. And I feel like I'm pretty good at this, but sometimes those guys are better. So go and check it out for yourself, SBRpicks.com/NCAAF. As far as this video goes, if you're watching right now, go ahead and hit that like button. Do us that favor. That always works. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. That way you know when we go live every single time. It is Mondays, Tuesdays, and Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern time for our closing line show. So Monday is the opening lines. Tuesday is this show here, the flagship show, and Saturday closing lines. You can be here with us all 3 times this week. So it is what it is. Jump in here with your comments. We want to know what the edge is that you see. Where do you see the advantage? What your picks are, etc. Jump into the comments. You guys are lighting it up right now. Absolutely lighting it up. So we do appreciate that. And then share the show out. Tell your friends about it. Of course, we want to keep this thing growing. You guys have done a fantastic job, and we certainly appreciate you watching every single week. SBRpicks.com/pick6. P-I-C-K and the number 6. Very easy to do. It's free to enter every single week. You can win your share of cash prizes, and it's a bunch of money. So go and make sure that you get signed up. You can pick NFL games. You can pick college games. Whatever you want to do. Pick 6 games against the number. Jump in there and see if you can win some money. And, again, we're not going to be able to hit every single game this week. So we'll go ahead and tell you. Follow us on Twitter. I am at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And we will always respond to you. I'm telling you, there's not one person that has hit me up that I have not responded to. Now, if you sent like 20-something in a row, it may take me a little bit of time to get back to you. So I'll have to try and read back through it. But I will certainly get back to you, and Chris has done a good job of doing that as well. We will talk about any game that you want to. Even if we don't have a strong lean, we'll still tell you what we're thinking. So if you want to hit us up on Twitter, that is where you can do that. Before we get started with the full show, and the SEC had a day.
A bad day.
Halloween won, the SEC nothing. Like that's basically where the majority of these cancellations are coming from. I think
that's where they all came from.
A&M played last week, but now they've got COVID issues. Let's go through the slate here. State and Auburn canceled. We'll talk about Alabama, LSU in a minute. A&M, Tennessee canceled. Kentucky, Mark Stoops came out and said that they're having issues. Arkansas head coach Sam Pittman is going to be out for Arkansas this week. He tested positive, then he tested positive again. He doesn't have any symptoms, but it's going to be Barry Odom.
He didn't have Butch Jones to spit in a cup for him.
You got that right. He might need to get that fixed next time. Get that fixed. Get that analyst, whatever you call him. Memphis at Navy has been postponed, and Air Force and Wyoming has been postponed. And I guarantee that we will see more as the week goes on, because it's been a crazy few weeks. We're getting into those bye weeks for a lot of these teams, and bye week means a little more freedom, means going home, means not staying in that bubble. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings. But yeah, crazy stuff is afoot in college football this week. Let's go ahead and move into the Week 10 recap. And I finally had a winning week. I feel all right. I went 4-3-1. Not terrible.
No, but definitely back on top. That's good.
Definitely better than 2-7 the week before that, and 2-5 the week before that,
right,
which has brought my overall total down to 35, 32, and 2. I'm sitting at 52.24%, looking to get that back in the correct column this week. You, however, Chris, went 10-0 on his picks last week. Hopefully you were tailing him because he owned it. I mean, he was all over it, and man, just killed the board.
I thought you gave me the old kiss of death, the old KOD there. Notre Dame's in overtime, and Gary posts out, if Chris hits it, you never talk about a no-hitter when a pitcher's going through a no-hitter. You don't talk about the perfect game. God.
It didn't matter.
It stressed me out, though.
I could imagine. I could imagine. But it had gotten to that point, and it was late enough in the night.
It was good. Like, it was fun. I appreciate it.
Not that we needed any more excitement to add on to that ball game.
No. It was a great game. It was just, I've never done anything like that, and I don't bet for money. I talk about this all the time when I'm losing, when I'm winning. This is not how I make a living. Is betting. I don't do it for the money. We love this game. We love this sport. I do like betting on stuff. And
we're not betting our mortgage on
it's a constant strive for greatness. It's an affirmation of credibility and having a voice. And it meant a lot. Now I will tell you this. I would like to say this definitively. Going 10-0 was just dumb luck. I'm not, and I promise you I am. All those weeks of going 1-5 were also just dumb luck.
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody.
This is a weird year.
Forget this is a weird year. There are people that are really good at this, that do this for a living. Okay. They all have analytical models that they base everything they do off of. Okay. Gary works off of a lot of analytical models. Anybody who just watches games and picks with their heart more than their head and has no consistency to the math of it, if you ever go 10-0, you have the exact same probability and possibility of going 0-10. Yes. It's just dumb luck. I'm not magic. I'm not special. I just had a hell of a weekend, and it was a hell of a weekend.
Well, that would be 2 weekends in a row, my friend, because you are 14-1 in your last 15 official picks on the show here. So hopefully for the past 2 weeks, you've been tailing this guy because you could have made a mortgage.
I can't. Somebody said, holy hell, I'm over 500. Yeah, I could. Yeah. I didn't do the math on how far behind I was. I just knew I was really far behind and assumed I wasn't going to get back over it. When I realized that put me at 500 almost, or I guess technically one over.
Let me pull up a couple weeks ago. Let's see. A few weeks ago, you were at 38%. You were 19-31 overall. And now you are sitting at 33-32 and 50.77%. Yeah. That is remarkable.
I'll take it. Now, here's how I live my life every day. I believe that a person is only as good as their next play.
Yes.
And we don't look back. We only move forward. And we're on to week 11.
We most certainly are, and we are going to discuss some crazy happenings first. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Number 1, Alabama was supposed to play in Baton Rouge against LSU this week, and things did not work out well. Things did not work out well, and it is what it is. I'm irritated about it because after last year, I was ready to get this one back, and now I just wonder if it's not going to happen at all. Like, they may just cancel this game completely.
Yeah, let's do that.
But here's where things get sideways, right? Okay. You've already scheduled LSU in Florida for December 12th. But we all know that division games are more important than cross-divisional games.
But they might not be. If Bama already has the division wrapped up and that one loss doesn't matter, then that's no longer important. It's no longer more important.
Okay, so if Florida loses another game, and it could come down to if they lose that game and Georgia wins out. Like, Florida would have to lose 2 more times.
Yes. So if Florida loses and Georgia wins out by that time, then the game actually is more important for Florida.
So, but here's the other side of this. If it's not wrapped up by then, you are making Florida play an extra game, and then you're giving Alabama a bye week before right. But at the same time, you're still playing to get into the conference championship game.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's where it can get tricky. Florida's remaining schedule, they've got Arkansas this week. They've got Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Tennessee, and then LSU. So, some losable. I mean, it sounds easy, but we know it's not. Like, things can go haywire in a heartbeat. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Georgia's schedule, again, we feel like it's fairly easy. At Missouri, then Mississippi State, at South Carolina, and then hosting Vanderbilt to close out the season. We'll see what happens with it. I don't know. I don't know. All these guys jumping in talking about Maction. Look, let me go ahead and talk about these games real quick. Have you done your research on these?
Oh, I've looked at the Max games. Yeah.
So
I don't have a big opinion on them because we're 1 week in.
Yeah.
I said I'm making everything a 2-week thing.
Akron and Ohio. Look, 27. I'm staying away from it. I think Ohio is the significantly better team. They could also just run a hell of a lot of clock.
Yep. And
this could end up being like a 24-0 ball game. This could be 27-3, 31-7, whatever. I'm staying away from it. Don't feel good one way or the other. Kent State absolutely destroyed Bowling Green last year. I think they could hit that over by themselves. Something is fishy about that total. I couldn't find any news about Kent State or Bowling Green.
Why did it go down almost 10 points?
Yeah, the total opened at 64 and it's down to 55. Something's weird about that. Staying away from it. Miami and Buffalo tonight. I am all over the over in this game. And that over, so you can get 55, you can get 55.5, 56, 57. Go and get the 55. Do yourself a favor. Go shop for the lines over at SBR Odds. The Wednesday night games, Eastern Michigan and Ball State. I feel like Ball State is the significantly better team. However, Eastern Michigan is lights out covering as a road dog. Eastern Michigan, however, really bad at returning production this year. So not touching that one. If I had to make a play, probably take Eastern Michigan, but either way. Central Michigan and Northern Illinois. I mean, it's a hook over the touchdown. I'd probably roll Central Michigan because Northern Illinois looked like awfulness last week. I mean, they were so bad.
They were playing a great team. That's why you got to give it 2 weeks. You got to at least see 2 sample sizes because there's a world in which Buffalo might really be that good.
And if you just want to toss a couple dollars on it, like
you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you, if Buffalo's really that good, there's a world in which Northern Illinois is not that bad.
Yes, you're correct about that. Toledo and Western Michigan is the Wednesday night game. That one, not touching. Those two teams are really, really good. I think it's just going to be a fun game.
I was about to say, that's going to be a fun game.
You have got that right. Okay, so off of Maction, let's move back into the biggest games of the weekend. Let's go Northwestern at Purdue. It's going to be a fantastic game.
This has potential to be the best game of the day. All Saturday.
I am so excited about it. These are two undefeated teams.
I think Rondell Moore is back. I've got a buddy who is pretty close to the Purdue.
Is this who is it? J-Man and
no, my buddy Tanner. My buddy Tanner.
Okay.
Tanner out there, and he knows people who are actually in the program.
Yeah,
and he said that
he has not practiced as of yet.
No, he has not practiced. They think it's a minor injury that he's just trying to not re-inflame.
Is it that shoulder injury?
No, I don't know. He didn't give me any information on that. He doesn't know. He thinks that Moore's playing in this game.
Okay.
I have no idea how you can play when you haven't practiced for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's a problem to me because that just seems like I'm asking for my hamstring to pull or my Achilles to snap.
That's kind of what I'm
Because
thinking.
That's how those soft core injuries.
And he's so shifty and he's quick anyway.
Well, he's just so powerful. His legs are so powerful. If he's not been working out for that long. Now, being a little bit more of the Northwestern home, not a little bit more. I am the Northwestern homer over Purdue. I'm not upset if he doesn't play, but I'm really ready to see this kid get on the field.
I agree.
But
Purdue,
I want him to be healthy, though.
Yes, Purdue won last year.
Don't waste your NFL career.
No.
Because that kid's going to be a star on Sundays.
Northwestern is a 3-point favorite in this game. The total is 50.5. It's the 7:30 p.m. Eastern time game on Big Ten Network. It's in West Lafayette. It's at Purdue. Purdue won last year 24-22 at Northwestern. It was super close, and that was the worst Northwestern team I think we will ever see in our lifetime.
It's the worst Northwestern offense, maybe the worst offense I have ever seen
from any Power 5
college football.
Yeah, it was bad.
I mean, there might be some bad Rutgers years that were in there, but not many, man.
No, you're right about that. Northwestern 7-2 straight up in the last night against Purdue. 6-3 against the spread against them. They typically do really well when they go to West Lafayette. So I will go ahead and tell you, like a prediction tracker, by the way, has Northwestern minus 3.3 right there on the number.
Right on where the number is. You could have gotten this number it opened at 1 or pick them. And it's just way to 1, 2, 3. So you could have gotten it at a better place than what we've got it at.
James jumps in, says he said that Purdue wins outright.
Now, this
and
is
then
the guy that was calling for Nebraska to keep winning all last week, all day long.
He said Northwestern should have lost to Nebraska. Got lucky.
And hang on, got lucky.
Nebraska scored 13 points.
Nebraska didn't score in the second half like everybody else has played them. I'd like to know some logic as to how they got lucky. I think that's called domination.
Yeah, I think so. So
go ahead.
Either way.
Sorry, James. No,
I have
opinions.
That is one of my official plays this week.
Mine as well.
So Northwestern minus 3, and I am taking Purdue team total under 24 here.
So I didn't have the stones to do that because Bell is a freak, and if more plays, I think they could score. I was really close to, and I will probably be betting Northwestern's team total over 27.
See,
it's not an official play, but I
don't think they need 27 to win.
Purdue's offense, our defense, the worst. There's some bad defenses in the Big Ten right now.
Yeah.
All right. It's down there in the bottom with those guys. They're real bad defensively. Now, thank God they can score, which is what makes their games a lot of fun. But I'm telling you, this might be the Northwestern offense we saw against Maryland.
It's entirely possible.
The idea of them hanging a 40 burger on them doesn't shock me. There's no team not named Ohio State in the Big Ten that's hanging a 40 burger on Northwestern.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are right. Let's move off of this one. Let's move to the ACC. Miami heading to Blacksburg to face off against Virginia Tech. This game is a 12 p.m. Eastern time game, Lane Stadium in Blacksburg. Virginia Tech opened a 2-point favorite, and that's with Khalil Herbert out. So, he may not be out, but it was a hamstring issue last week. I'm assuming
he's out. I don't like hamstring stuff because that lingers. Even if he plays, he's either going to be a decoy or do nothing because hamstrings are tough.
Yes.
They don't heal quickly.
The total in this game is 67. Now, it's an early game. It's whatever. Virginia Tech won last year 42-35. However, Miami 4-2 straight up and against the spread their last 6 against VT. Look, Khalil Herbert, I think that he makes a massive difference here.
I agree.
And I'm not going to touch the game until then. And listen to this. The backup running back is Raheem Blackshear, right? Herbert, 96 carries on the year, averaging 8.3 yards per carry on 96 carries.
It's a lot of touches.
Raheem Blackshear has 61 carries. He's getting 4.16 yards per carry. That's half.
Yeah, but that's still pretty good.
4 is okay.
No, 4 is not okay.
8 is absurd.
Well, yes, 8 is absurd, but that doesn't mean 4 is not really good.
4 is good.
4 is really good.
4.16 is it's not really good. It's like middle of the pack. It ain't great.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is you're losing your playmaker. Now they've still got Hooker, they've still got guys that can put up points, right? However, I don't know. The line stinks.
This isn't a math problem for me.
No, this line stinks to high heaven.
I have seen Justin Fuente blow a game to a non-Power 5 school, so a G5 or an independent. That's not Notre Dame. Every year since he's been there.
Yeah.
The following week he plays an ACC opponent, and that week he beats the hell out of that ACC opponent. I can't tell you rhyme, reason, or math. I can't use any logic. I'm just telling you this. The books know. There's no analytics that can tell you Miami's not the better team. Miami should be favored in this game. This line is off 5, 6, maybe a touchdown.
I mean, the talent advantage is to Miami.
Everything tells you
every
Miami take them. Why'd the books open at Virginia Tech -2?
It's weird. Now, Prediction Tracker does have Virginia Tech favored by 0.41 points.
Straight into the stink. I'm just going to go right into it, head first, hold my breath.
I can't touch it yet.
I'm all in. Don't care. I think the people who build real big buildings with not so nice lights know what they're doing.
You might be right about that.
I want to be on their side more than I want to be against them.
I mean, it's 100% of the bets
on
Miami.
And it will be that way. This is late Wednesday. It will be that way come Thursday. It will be that way come Friday. It will be that way come Saturday morning. Bring it on. Just pour the stink on me. I'm gonna bathe in it.
Matt Williams jumps in on YouTube, said Miami is overranked. Changed my mind. They have not looked good lately.
They have not looked good lately. Vitek hasn't looked great lately either. Like it's just weird. There's just no way. Forget them losing to Liberty. Let's say they get the block field goal. Let's say they win that game. This line is still like Miami -1 or 2.
Yeah. Yeah. James said a lot of the public bets will be on Miami. Sharp money on Virginia Tech. Well, right now, all the
money. And sharp money hadn't even started coming in yet, or they're on Miami.
Or they already took them on Sunday. So
yeah.
Either way. All right, let's move off of that one. And let's kind of go over the biggest win from last week. Let's move to Notre Dame heading to Chestnut Hill to face off against Boston College. The Fighting Irish not open. They are a 13.5-point favorite right now, pretty much across the board. Total of 49.5. That's going down just a touch. I figured it would. I told you on Sunday I would take the under on that, but opened at what, 50.5?
It opened, yeah, just a little bit over that.
So 3:30 p.m. Eastern time game. It's in Chestnut Hill. It's an ABC game. Big national spotlight, all that. Last week, the ratings have come out. Notre Dame, Clemson, 10.1 million average viewers. Highest watched game of the season.
That was going up against the
president stuff and everything else.
Speech.
It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So
monster number, man.
Yes, it is.
Great game, too. Lived up for every bit of it.
Oh, it was fantastic. So, of course, 1993 was the last time that Notre Dame beat a number 1 ranked team.
Correct.
They beat Florida State. Then they turned around the next week. They went to Chestnut Hill, and they got beat.
So whenever the Catholics from the Midwest go to fight up on the Catholics from the East Coast, it tends to be a tougher game for Notre Dame than it should be. Based on talent on the field.
Like a few years ago, they went up there and beat them like 56-20 or something. It's crazy.
Tends to.
But yes, it tends to. And even more so, this is the red bandana game.
It is the red bandana game.
So, and if you haven't seen that, go look up the ESPN story on the red bandana game. It's fantastic. Make sure you got some tissues.
I'm about to say it's a tearjerker.
Yes. So just let you know. I texted y'all during the early parts of the pandemic. It was like, have y'all seen this? This is fantastic. And I'd always heard about it, but I hadn't seen it. But Tom Rinaldi and that bunch.
Yeah, he always does the one that's going to make you cry.
God, Rinaldi, what are you doing to me? So I know that you immediately on Saturday night before the game,
as soon as they won the game, people were on the field. I'm crying. I just went 10-0. I'm going crazy. I'm around a bunch of people that don't know me at all, and they're like, "Who in the hell is this guy?" And I immediately text out, "I want BC next week. I don't know what the number is, but it's going to be too big."
We thought it was going to be significantly larger.
Now, I definitely was thinking 17-21.
Yeah.
When it came out under 2 touchdowns, it got me a little worried, but I'm sticking with my thought.
That's James said that 93 game was in South Bend. Yes, you're right. My problem. Either way, they played Boston College and they got beat. So still kind of same thing. I can't touch it.
It's scary.
I can't touch
it. So sometimes betting dogs is scary. This is one of those times it's scary. I got to figure out where the hell this Notre Dame offense came from because I hadn't seen that all year. Now, if that offense shows up against BC, they're going to double in points because of the amount of defensive difference between BC and Clemson.
So James jumps in. I think the Jerkovich storyline gives Notre Dame some energy they otherwise wouldn't have. It could also give Jerkovich something to play for, right? Yeah. So it gives you something more to play for, along with the red bandana game and all this. Listen to these trends kind of going in your favor as well, right?
But I don't like trends.
So I know. Boston College 8-1-1, their last 10 as a home underdog. Notre Dame only 4-5-1, their last 10 as a road favorite.
I don't really care about favorites and home trends like that. I don't normally know that those things matter.
William jumped in. He said, "Hopefully, we get the Notre Dame that played against Louisville."
Yeah,
that's the thing.
If you're pulling for BC, you want the Notre Dame that put up 11, 12 points.
Notre Dame put up 47 points on Clemson.
Yes.
And in the same stadium, just a few weeks ago put up 12 points on Louisville's defense.
One of the worst defenses in the ACC, a conference not known for defense. Trust me.
It is absolutely ridiculous.
Now, because hang on, they haven't scored like mid-20s all year.
No.
And so I'm putting a lot of hope in. That was just they had been game planning all year. Maybe those other games were look-ahead games. They were just basically win, and we're in. The only game we really care about is Clemson every week. Now that Clemson's over with, now all you got to do is worry about Clemson too. And they're just going to try to get by and keep winning. And win this game by a touchdown, win this game by a field goal. I'm a happy camper. I want the Irish to win the ACC. I want it so bad I can feel it in my bones. But I don't want them to cover this game.
They got some tough ones. They got BC now. They've got Wake coming up. They've got North Carolina.
So North Carolina is going to be a fight.
Yeah.
That's going to be a slugfest.
All of those on the road.
Both of those, I don't care about really. This game, I care a little bit about the home road thing. I really don't. North Carolina, that's going to be a game where if that's played on real grass, that real grass is going to have to be replaced.
Yeah, probably so.
Because these two teams are going to run the football. Their offensive lines and defensive fronts are just going to just make a giant mud hole between the 40s.
I could get with that. Notre Dame prediction tracker has them as a 14.79 point favorite.
It's right on the number, man.
It's
right on the number.
So you're rolling Boston College. Is that one of your official picks?
It is an official pick. It's the one that scares me the most.
I can understand. All right, last big game that we will talk about, and then we're moving into interesting games. SMU and Tulsa. This one's coming to you live from Chapman Stadium in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's on ESPN2, 7 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. SMU, number 19, is an underdog on the road against an unranked team. Now, we've talked about this multiple times, right? It's the same thing with Miami, who's a top 10 team.
Correct.
Going to Virginia Tech. SMU, ranked, only has one loss on the season. Tulsa, however, also only one loss on the season. Let's see. AA said, did these guys talk about the Buffalo-Miami game? Yes, we did earlier. I'm going over in that game. So, SMU, not great against Tulsa lately. 2-4 straight up, 2-4 against the spread in their last 6. They did win by 6 points last year, 43-37. The prediction tracker has the number right on. I mean, it's Tulsa minus 2.3. Tulsa's a 2.5 point favorite, total of 64 here. I think this Tulsa team is different from last year.
Oh, yeah.
Because they are playing ridiculously good defense.
It's a completely different team. This is why you can't always look at trends, is because up until last year, they were a typical,
AAC team.
Let's throw the football. Let's spread it out. Let's put a lot of points up, and let's just not play defense. And something happened this year where they just said, we can't compete with these guys doing that. We got to slow these games down. We got to get bigger and stronger in the trenches. This is my same logic would say take Tulsa as the Vatech logic. And then a couple of weeks ago, you ran into this with Kansas State and West Virginia. Yes. And I can't explain it. Okay. I know what the prediction tracker is saying. I don't know how it's getting there. I don't understand the math on it.
I will
because
say this.
Talent doesn't say it should.
Well, no, the talent is somewhat comparable.
There's just no way. That SMU team is crazy talented. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Okay.
Then.
Well,
I could be wrong. I don't believe it.
247 Sports. Go do their recruiting thing. And this is just based on the recruiting stuff.
I know.
However, Tulsa.
I don't give a damn about
a lot of experience, all that kind of stuff. I know that you don't, but
I do care about experience. 100% care about experience.
Tulsa's got a lot of it this year.
They do.
The only issue here is Tulsa has only played 4 ball games this year. They've had a ton of them postponed and canceled. They've only played 4 games. SMU has played 7, I believe. Yeah. SMU is 6-1. Tulsa 3-1. This is weird. Comedian Mr. 937 said SMU always falls asleep on the road. This could be a double-digit win for Tulsa. Tulsa plays very similar to the way that Cincinnati plays.
They're building their team the way Cincinnati's built their team.
And Cincy smoked the Mustangs.
Yeah, but since he has been doing it for a couple of years, since he is way better at it than Tulsa. I don't know that just because they smoked them means this team will beat them. I don't know that you can do that math.
I don't think SMU has looked as good since Reggie Roberson and TJ McDaniel went out, right? I don't think they are as good without those key pieces. Like, you don't have your deep threat guy. You don't have your security blanket for Shane Buechele. So Sonny Dykes is one hell of a coach. And Philip Montgomery has not looked great over the years, but he's looked fantastic this year. And I think that shift in styles could be what gets them over the hump here. So I would lean Tulsa. This isn't going to be a play for me.
No, not a play for me either. The same logic.
The line still kind of stinks.
Yeah, you know? It doesn't make any sense.
Is what it is. All right, let's move into the interesting games and let's roll through them fairly quickly. First game on the board, Indiana at Michigan State. Michigan State, a 7.5-point home dog, total of 52 here. Prediction Tracker has this Indiana minus 12.73. This line kind of stinks to me. Something is weird about this because I feel like Indiana, after like the way that Michigan State looked last week, right? And I understand they got the win over Michigan, but it was still a tight game over Michigan. Indiana just clobbered the same Michigan team. Michigan State goes and gets absolutely blasted by Iowa. Indiana is undefeated. The way they got there was a little questionable, but they beat Penn State. They're 3-0. And they looked fantastic last week. Like, I would lean Indiana, and this was initially one of my plays, and then I started digging into it, and I was like, this looks completely lopsided. Why is this only 7.5? Like, something feels weird about this.
No, I think the number's probably right, and I think because Michigan State only gets blowed out the way they do when they turn the ball over. And so if they're not turning the ball over, they're still going to get beat, but they're just not going to get housed the way they have.
See, I mean, could you see this being a touchdown game?
I could see it being a touchdown game. I could see it being a 2-touchdown game, though. I mean, I can't see Michigan State doing what they did to Michigan and winning the game. I could be wrong about that, but I think this is an Indiana play and get away. But I don't know. Over a touchdown does worry me a little bit. Hey, I just saw something. I looked up.
Yep.
You said that it was going to be a public play. Everybody's going to be on SMU. A lot of people here have said, SMU is going to be the public play. This is opposite from the Va-Tech Miami game. 98% are on Tulsa. 94%, are on Tulsa. 6%, and now the line has moved to 2.5.
So move from 2 to 2.5.
The public sees this line and jumps on it. They see Va-Tech line and they run away from it.
That's weird.
The logic is the same. The style of play and what we have walking into this game is almost identical. Anyway, just thought that was interesting. Didn't mean to go backwards.
No, you're good.
Keep going forwards.
I would lean Indiana here. I hate the half point.
I think Indiana is an incredibly well-coached football team.
I definitely think that.
In a game in which I think the line could be right.
This is huge letdown spot, right?
Yeah, man, you say letdown spot, but well-coached teams don't have letdown games every year.
I mean, or every week, right? Ralph said Indy looking in next week to Ohio State. Like, I don't think Indiana is at a point where they can look ahead to anybody.
Hang on, they might. That could be why the line is short, though.
It could be like the sandwich spot.
Yeah, I mean that could be why the line is so small. What would you think this line would be? You've seen both of these teams. Let's say they both have a bye week, and let's say they play a nobody the week after. What would you think this line should be?
Double digits.
14?
Maybe not that.
So
maybe,
I was thinking
10, 11.
So I was thinking 2 touchdowns or more. I was thinking a lot more than this. So I think the look ahead spot or the letdown spot is figured into the line already. I think that math has been done for us because the line's already too short.
Indiana might be a good spot for like a teaser.
No, I definitely think the line is right, which is why I don't have it as a play. But if you said give me a play, I'm going to take the one that's a great coach football team.
Yeah.
And just say if the line is right, I hope he does his nudge better to get his team over.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm with you. Let's move on. Let's talk about America's darlings, the Mullets from over in Myrtle Beach. Coastal Carolina heading down to Troy, Alabama, the Chanticleers. Goodness gracious. Grayson McCall, that boy's a quarterback. He can play. Jamie Chadwell, I have fallen more and more in love with that man. Every week, really. But I feel like maybe people are getting a little too in love with them with their pocketbooks. I mean, they are covering every spread. It's just ridiculous. The line opened at 7.5. It is now up to 11. The Chants are favored by on the road, and they got App State coming up next week. The prediction tracker, the analytical average, has it Coastal Carolina minus 7.92 here. It's a 12 p.m. Eastern time game on ESPNU. A total of 53.5. Their totals I'm just staying away from. I can't. Every week it's something different. It doesn't ever make sense.
Well, we don't know when their defense shows up and when their defense doesn't.
Got that
Are
right.
they going to blank somebody or are they going to allow 35 to them?
Yeah, it's now last week they only gave up 6, but they only scored 23.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
Like,
that's right.
It was weird. South Alabama has put up points on basically everybody. So the defense appears to be rounding into shape. But this is definitely a look-ahead spot. This line opened 7.5. It's up to 11. I would say that it's too many points, but I've also seen them just demolish really good teams.
I was off of them 2 weeks in a row because I thought at some point in time the books are going to catch up. Okay. I now think the books are probably going to catch up one day, but they don't know where to put the line yet.
Yeah.
They're still not making it big enough. And I think they cover the 11. I think they cover 11.5. If it keeps growing, I do think it's going to keep growing because I don't know a soul out there that watches college football that's betting that would say, I'm gonna fade this team.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to do.
It's tough, but they're so much fun to watch.
Well, that's it.
Right? Like there's so much
you
fun.
have the difference of their. I get people wanting to fade Liberty. I get that if you are not a religious type person or you are anti-religious, like you would not be a fan of the Farwells and you just want to root against them.
Or if you want to root against Hugh Freeze or something like that.
Totally understand that.
Everything about this is America's sweethearts.
They are the most fun, loving, likable team in college football. And you just can't root against them.
I have brought this up on the show.
And they're great.
I've brought this up on the show multiple times. But just as a reminder, if the Chants win the Sun Belt this year, their coach has to grow a mullet.
It's going to take him some time to grow that mullet. He does not have long hair.
It'll be ready by next year.
I think
it'll be ready by next season.
This is going to be an extension situation because I don't think he's going to be there next year.
I mean, we'll see.
That's the problem.
There's a lot of good coaches, and I don't think there's going to be a ton of jobs open.
We disagree on that. I agree there are a lot of good coaches. I don't know that there are many as good as him right now. And I think there are going to be a plethora of jobs open.
You might be right. You might be right. We got some guys jumping in. Good show, boys, from Viral Video. We appreciate that, of course. A lot of people saying, let's see, Coastal didn't cover last week. No, they were off by half a point.
Yeah,
but even still,
yeah,
like people still love them. They keep winning. They keep winning big. So,
and that was the closing line.
Yes.
So you got to remember that line moved 3 points, 4 points, 3.5 points. So a lot of people they absolutely covered for. Just the people who got them late didn't cover.
Yep, you are correct. All right, moving on. Let's move to the ACC, and we got a Tobacco Road kind of battle here. We got Wake Forest going over to Chapel Hill to face off against North Carolina. North Carolina is a 13.5-point favorite.
Big line jump.
Total of 66 here. Went up, 3 points?
Yeah, at least 3.
Maybe 3.5.
2.5 or 3. Hang on.
Either way. 10.5
to 3.5, 3 points.
You're okay. Right. Prediction tracker has North Carolina favored by 7. 7.02 here. Wake Forest 7-2 against the spread. Their last 9 as a 13+ point underdog. They won 24-18 last year over North Carolina. Now that was at home. Now they got to go on the road. And Mac Brown brought this up last week when they got done disposing of Duke. He brought up that he knows that the guys that pay his check, they like it when they beat the in-state teams.
They got to beat up on in-state teams.
NC State, Duke, and Wake Forest, I think from here on.
And this is not a win the game, beat them. This is a wink, wink, nod, nod.
Cover the spread.
My boosters got money riding on this. We need to make sure we take care of them.
I initially thought, man, I am going to take Wake Forest because Wake Forest has won 4 in a row. That offense is clicking. The issue here is Wake Forest cannot stop the run.
Yeah.
And North Carolina has one hell of a run.
What I say last week, North Carolina, take some advice from your boy, I'm rooting for you here. Run the football all day long and just don't stop. Don't call a pass play. I need Gus Malzahn to take over the play calling for one more week. I just need him to run the ball 38 times, pass it twice, and going into halftime say, we need to run the ball more. Yeah. That's what I need them to do, and they win this game by 3 touchdowns because Wake Forest can't stop the run. Now, Wake Forest offense is good. Wake Forest offense is a lot of fun. I do like them.
Yes.
But I trust this North Carolina defense to get a stop or two. I don't need them to shut them down. No. I don't need them to hold them nothing because I think North Carolina can score 35, 40 points in this game if they want.
I think they could score,
whatever they want.
They scored 56
last week. You're right. Just don't stop.
Yeah.
I was trying to pull those stats up too.
Oh, you're all good.
But no, it's just a situation where I like Wake Forest a lot. In this situation, I think the separation between what North Carolina is offensively and defensively, I just think it's too much. They get 3 stops in this game, the line is busted and the cover is over. The game is ball game.
Yeah, I think
if Wake Forest turns the ball over or punts, anything to not put points on or touchdowns on the board, they settle for 2 field goals. That's the difference in 8 points that they didn't get, and North Carolina's gonna get it. I just believe that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people jumping in the comments that are talking about how North Carolina is so inconsistent, and that's why I initially thought about Wake.
Yes,
but Mac and that bunch know you got to win the in-state games, and that's what keeps me off of it. I'm not
the fact that he brought it up. So Williams ran the ball, 12 rushes, 151 yards against Duke. 12 rushes, 151. Woo, good Lord. Carter, 17 rushes, 85 yards. Then they had 3 other guys that had 35 yards, 20 yards, 27 yards. They are going to run the ball down their throat. He only threw the ball 27 times last week.
Does that total feel a little short to you? 66?
No, because is there a world in which if
North Carolina's running the ball a lot,
controlling the clock, and then if Wake Forest let's say Wake Forest does get down by 3 scores,
okay,
and they go into panic mode, you sometimes get turnovers and you sometimes get 3 and outs because first downs aren't good enough. I need 20-yard pass plays. I didn't complete 3 of them. Damn, I'm punting. That's the fear that I have in play because I normally would love this over. Think it's way short. There is a world in which if North Carolina just controls the game, the other team gets desperate, and if they make mistakes being desperate, then they can't score. North Carolina no longer has to score a ton.
Yeah, and they
dominate the game.
They dominate the line of scrimmage, and then they just run the ball out, run the clock out. All right, let's move on. We were going to talk Texas A&M and Tennessee in this spot. Let's move down the line. Let's go to Ohio State and Maryland here. We'll stay on a schedule if we can do that. And I don't know if our boys have got the right graphic. There we go. We got it. All right. Okay. So we had to change up some stuff today. We apologize.
A professional organization.
That's what I'm talking about. The crew makes us look good.
I know.
They are better at their jobs than we are. So Ohio State heading over to College Park, Maryland. And the Terrapins have looked really damn good here lately. Maryland is a 25-point underdog at home. The total is 73 now. That's gone up 3.5 points, I believe. 3:30 p.m. Eastern time game. It's on the Big Ten Network. Prediction Tracker says Ohio State should be favored by 28 in this spot. The question I've got is Talia good enough to be able to carve up this Buckeyes defense? He's been killing people since the Northwestern
game. They will score less than they scored on Penn State, more than they scored against Northwestern. How about that?
So more than 3, less than 35.
Less than 35. I think that's the world where we're going to find this game.
I could see that. So if you
think that's safe, can I bet that anywhere?
If you get 3 touchdowns, the team totals.
Yeah.
If they get to 21 in this game, I think you have to play the over. I think Ohio State is going to put up well over 50 points here. I don't think the Maryland defense is very good.
I do think Ohio State absolutely can put up 50 and probably will, I guess, because Maryland's defense, to say they're not very good is a pretty big understatement.
Minnesota was able to rack up a ton of yards and a ton of points on them.
They're a bad football team. I love Northwestern. Our boys at Northwestern. they have not been offensive juggernauts this year other than this game where they dropped 44 on them.
That's what I'm saying.
So yes, there's no reason Ohio State and Justin Fields should not put up a 50 spot here.
And if you put up a 50 spot, I would imagine you'll put up like 52.
I would 100% think
whatever.
Maryland can score in the 20s.
Yes.
This Ohio State defense, Ohio State is built almost exactly like Alabama and Florida. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm watching the same damn football team.
I mean, they gave up 27 to Rutgers last week.
Yeah, they're going to give up points. They're not the vaulted defense that they used to be to hold everybody to nothing.
I could 100% see Maryland covering. I could 100% see Ohio State covering. Yep. What I definitely don't see is
a low-scoring affair.
A low-scoring game.
Me neither.
So I would take the over if you're going to play this
number,
game.
Though. What's that number?
72
and a half?
Well,
yeah, it's 72 and a half across the board, brother.
If it's gone down a little bit, then
take that
absolutely.
Hook. Take that hook. I think I'm right. I think you're right on that. I think I agree with you. The over is that I think it's kind of the easy play.
Yeah. I
feel dumb saying easy. I just
feel
like that's just asking for somebody to take money out of your pocket.
There's still not a lot of people that would play over 70s, but
those people haven't been watching college football.
That's what I'm saying.
The 70 doesn't scare me. It's when I see an 85 that I just like
it might be a bit much.
That LSU Alabama over was 83, 84?
80 no.
What was it before it got canceled? It was in the 80s.
No, it was 74.
Okay, maybe I dreamed that.
No, Alabama and Ole Miss at one point had gotten like close to it, and then it came all the way back down because of the hurricane.
It spiked and then it dropped.
Let's move on. Let's move to the SEC, and one of the only games that's being played in that conference this week. Arkansas headed down to Gainesville, Florida to face off against the Gators, who just won their Super Bowl. They feel like they got the East wrapped up, and the Hogs are saying, no, hold on. Y'all still got to beat us first. Felipe Frank's revenge tour.
I can't take that serious. I love Arkansas. I can't take that serious.
Sam Pittman will be out for this game. He is Arkansas's head coach. Barry Odom, the defensive coordinator, the former head coach at Missouri, will be handling.
Fantastic head coach, though.
Yeah, he was pretty good. He was pretty good.
Forget about what he was at Minnesota. Missouri. He's a way better.
He's a good coach
than what he was there. That team has no talent. So. You can't recruit there.
So Arkansas is a 17.5-point underdog here. That line moved maybe because of Pittman. I would guess. We don't know if Kyle Pitts is going to play. They may not need him. I will say this. After Pitts went out against Georgia, Florida's offense, and not that they had to do very much.
The offense is just fine.
I think they're going to be fine.
Man. They're loaded.
I know they're loaded, but Pitts is part of what makes them go. And that's the only question I've got here, right? Because I think Arkansas's defense is really good. Like, we've both talked about this.
So I've been a little hyperbolic in saying that Arkansas is the best defense in the SEC.
Yeah.
I think Arkansas is the best defense in the SEC. I really do. I'll tell you this. Florida will score less in this game than they did last week.
Are you sure about that?
Yep.
I mean,
Mark,
the total.
Mark, you want to make I'll make a wager with you.
Total is 62.5.
I don't care. Florida will score less this week than they scored last week. How we get there, I don't know. I'm just telling you, they're going to score less, a lot less.
They put up, I might agree with you. They put up 44 last week. I don't think they have to score 44 to win this week.
I'm just telling you.
I mean, I'm not going to make that bet because I think you might be right about
Here's
that.
why. There's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek to that. There's a little bit of trickery for that. Arkansas's offense is going to move the football way better than Georgia is. Florida's not going to have enough possessions to score 44. I don't know if they score all of them, but Arkansas holds the ball and moves offense a lot. They're going to move the chains way more than Georgia moved the chains.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, Florida scored less points on Texas A&M in that defense than they did against Georgia.
Yep. Georgia,
crazy.
Georgia defense, smidgy overrated.
Nathan jumps in. He said, Florida, well, he retracted the message. Never mind. I was getting ready to read it, and he retracted it. So he said Florida team total under is what he was getting.
I don't know what the team total is. I haven't looked, but I would probably take the under on that.
Well, the total is 62.5. I mean, you divide that by 2. So 62 divided by 2 is 31. Then you add half of 17.5. So 31 plus 8.5.
That's 40. And they think it's going to be 40.
I think it'll be close to 40.
I'd take the under. Listen, I I love Arkansas in this spot. I really, really do. This is a little bit. I'm not going to use the word letdown, but I definitely think this is a breather game for Florida. We have locked up the West. We have done something we haven't done in a long time.
Or locked up the East.
Yeah. East, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we just need to win out. This is Notre Dame all over again. We just need to win out. We're now focusing on that bad boy in Tuscaloosa.
Yep. We don't have to worry about.
We don't have to beat everybody by 20.
Style points.
No. If we can just get by, we're fine. And Arkansas is not a team where you can go into mentality and say, I can just get by. You can just get by against Vanderbilt and still beat their ass. You can't have that mentality against Arkansas.
Would you take a prop bet of Cal Trask throwing an interception?
Probably, yeah. Barry Odom's defenses are really, really good. Those guys, when you make a mistake, they take advantage.
Yeah, I think you're.
Yes, I would take that prop bet. I bet you would get some good odds on that prop bet.
A lot of guys talking about Arkansas jumping in and getting a backdoor cover here.
And that's what it is.
That half point.
I think it's going to be close. Is there a world in which they can give Florida a scare? Maybe.
Prediction Tracker's got Florida minus 20.5.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. So let's move on from there, and let's jump over to the ABC night game. Wisconsin, Big Ten bash here. Wisconsin headed to Ann Arbor, Michigan. Michigan, a 4-point home underdog here, 54.5 the total, and 7:30 p.m. Eastern time game. ABC National, all that good stuff. Prediction Tracker shouldn't even matter at this point, but Wisconsin minus 7.5. We got to figure out, is Graham Mertz playing? Like, Wisconsin has to be able to throw the football. That is how you beat Michigan, right? I mean, that's the only way that this game. Take that back. It's not the only way. I think it can be a ball game.
If there's a team that can run the ball on Michigan, it is Wisconsin.
Yes, but
they will be one-dimensional, and that's hard to stop. I mean,
the running backs for Wisconsin didn't look great in that first game against Illinois. Not that they had to, because Mertz was dealing. But, I mean, they averaged like 3.5 yards a carry, like less than that. So, if Mertz is not playing, if they've got a 4-string quarterback that cannot make plays throwing the football,
I'm as off of this game as I can be.
Yeah, I can't play it right now. There's a lot of people that love Wisconsin, and I think they're just buying in early, thinking, Mertz is going to play. He hadn't practiced in 3 weeks.
It's easy to crap on Michigan right now.
Oh yeah,
I mean they're the easy dog to kick right now while they're down. So when you've been a bully of a conference in the past, as soon as you're down, man, people just come for you,
dive on you.
Yeah, and so I understand, not that Michigan's been a bully for a while, but people like to see them lose, and that's fine. If Mertz is back, this is the difference between I think realistically, I think this dude matters 14 points to the spread.
I think so too.
In this game. Maybe not against every team, but against a team that definitively cannot stop the pass. You put Mertz back there, he cuts Michigan into pieces. And then this game's not close.
Yes.
Without Mertz, I have no idea.
I'm the same. I'm staying away until they announce something.
If I get a Mertz, the line's going to jump. It's not going to jump enough to scare me, because I think this is a 14-point game with Mertz, maybe more.
Ryan Kennedy jumped in and said, does Wisconsin remember how to play football? We'll see.
So there's a little bit. They're having a regular week of practice this week. So they're going to have this will basically be like week 1 again. But the problem is, if Mertz plays, Mertz will not be able to practice literally until game time.
Yeah.
He's going to show. Now, I have to think, you're a college student. You're a professional. You're a professional. You're a major college athlete. Okay.
Okay.
You've been given the 19 timeout. All right. And you can't practice with your team. You're not just sitting at home,
I mean, you got to be working out. I mean, you got to be doing something.
You would think this guy's in shape and working out because he has no symptoms. Right.
Agreed.
And so therefore he's not just watching film, but he's got somebody he's throwing a football to. Right.
We would think
he's got some place where he's running some stairs and doing some push-ups. It's and not the same jacks. He's not in the workout room.
Yeah, he's not in game shape. I don't know.
No, but he's not.
Keep the pocket
but he hasn't been sitting on the couch looking at naked pictures on his phone for 3 weeks either, just doing nothing. I gotta believe he's ready to play when he's available to play.
James jumps in on YouTube. He said Mertz will play. That is
if Mertz plays and you
thinking.
can get this number right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you just take it and just sing.
Nope, you are correct about that. Let's move into 2 Pac-12 games to end us out, and then we're going to get into our official picks and parlays, teasers, all that good stuff. So Oregon at Washington State. The Ducks headed over to the Cougars. The Ducks are a 10-point favorite on the road this week. Washington State got a big-time win in Corvallis last week. Total of 57.5 at 7 p.m. Eastern time game on Fox. Prediction trackers got it right on the number. Oregon minus 10.5 around that. Nick Rolovich did a good job of having his guys prepared, even though they were missing like 13 guys last week. It's kind of crazy to see that they had guys out and could still play the game, and Cal had one asymptomatic guy, and they had to move counties to be able to play. We'll talk about Cal in a minute, but I wonder if Oregon State just was not very good, and is Oregon going to come out and just completely shut down this run and shoot offense?
Probably. Oregon's got way more talent.
Yeah, even with all the opt-outs, even with all that, Oregon is still immensely more talented.
They're the better team. Listen, I'm not going again. I gave myself a 2-week moratorium on all these new conferences coming in. If you made me play this game, I'm riding Rolo.
I know you are.
I don't care if I take the L.
You love.
I've got losses to give. I don't care. I don't care. Give him my boy. That dude is crazy. He's just
he's
crazy. He's fearless.
Yes.
I like coaches that aren't afraid.
I think he's much more entertaining than Mario Cristobal.
Yes.
By far. All right, let's move into the last Pac-12 game of the day, and that would be Cal at Arizona State. Now, this was a late ad for us. It's on ESPN2, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, so this is your Pac-12 After Dark game, my friends. I think you've also got Oregon State and Washington. Toss that one out the window. We're rolling with this one. Cal finally getting to play Arizona State after that heartbreaking loss last week where they led by 2 touchdowns with less than 4 minutes left at USC and lost the game. But the prediction tracker has got Arizona State minus 2.5 here, and the line sits Arizona State minus 4.5. Cal has not been able to practice. They haven't been able to really do anything. Everything was shut down last week. They had to move counties. They had to completely move out of the school, out of Berkeley, to be able to go and practice. Now, if you know the Bay Area, you understand it ain't that far. I mean, it's still the concept but you can't practice in your home stuff. You have to do it somewhere else, and it took away valuable practice time. It took away all this stuff. I like Cal. I like Justin Wilcox. I love what he's doing. That defense lost a ton of dudes last year, a ton of them. And we don't like guys that don't have a bunch of experience coming back, right?
Yeah,
that's a big problem.
I like experience this year.
The offense, however,
has a lot
coming back.
The offense hasn't been good. So who cares if those guys are back?
They were undefeated with Chase Garbers at quarterback last year. Like any game that he started and finished, they were undefeated.
And they still only averaged like 13 points. So that doesn't really matter. So yeah, so you're throwing. This is why I tell you you can't trust number guys, because numbers guys lie to you all the time. Yes, he was undefeated.
Was that a lie? He's 7-0 as a
I know
starter.
that. No, but that was nefarious. You know what you were doing when you said that. That dude averaged like 13 points a week because that defense was really good.
They have not been able to practice. I would have to go Arizona State here, but I ain't playing it. I can't do it this week. I'm going to sit back. I'll tell you what's going to happen. I'm probably going to drink a little too much because I don't have Alabama LSU this week. So I'm probably going to drink a little too much, and once we get to about 9:30 p.m. Central Time, God's time zone, I'm probably going to,
listen, you can bet on your boys Utah. That's a night game, too. They got 3
I ain't betting on that. They got like 30 guys out this week.
They're playing UCLA, though, man.
I know. They still got 30 guys.
Me and you might be able to put a team together of ragtag 35 to 40-year-olds and
be able to hang with UCLA.
Go hang with you. I mean, I wouldn't be one of them, but I know people that could.
You're probably right. I'd put you on the line.
No. I'm old. I'm broken. I can't see out of one eye. I got a bad right wheel.
I would have to bet Arizona State in this spot, but I'm not making an official play. I will probably toss a couple bills on that thing once it gets late and I've had too much to drink. So let's move into our official picks. We will start with Gary's picks for the week. These are my locks. These are the ones that I already have money on. I am going to start us off with tonight's game. I've already told you guys this. Miami of Ohio at Buffalo, over 56. Jumping on that one. I think this is a higher scoring game than that. Iowa's team total on Thursday night. Is it Thursday or Friday? Either way, it's a weeknight game. Iowa team total over 30. So already jumping on that one. FIU and FAU is a Friday night game. I'm going under 42 on that one. Fresno State.
Iowa's also Friday.
Iowa's Friday. Okay, good. Fresno State minus 10 at Utah State. I understand the line is going down. I know Gary Anderson got fired last week, and there's typically that, the coach got fired. Everybody's happy. We're going to go out and play well. Utah State is awful. And I think Fresno State under Kalen DeBoer has got things figured out. I think they are significantly better than Utah State. So I am taking Fresno there. UNLV at San Jose State. I got a lot of Mountain West going on this week. UNLV at San Jose State. I'm taking San Jose State minus 15.5. I think the Trojans are really good. Like, I don't think the books have caught up to them. UNLV is not going to be able to stop these guys, regardless of who is playing quarterback. Northwestern minus 3 at Purdue. Jumping all over that one. I just think Northwestern may be one of the 3 best teams in the Big Ten this year. Like, I think they are that good. Their defense is unbelievable.
Completely agree.
Purdue team total under 24 to go along with that. And this line stinks. It is awful. It reeks, but I'm taking Pittsburgh minus 6.5. I think they are significantly better than Georgia Tech. I don't care that it's on the road. I don't care that Pitt just had to go to Tallahassee and whip up on Florida State. It doesn't matter. Pitt has Kenny Pickett back, and even without Kenny Pickett, I think they win this game by more than a touchdown. I think they're that much better than Georgia Tech. They defend everything that Georgia Tech does well. Like, so I'm all over Pittsburgh there. Those are my official picks for the week. I got 8 of them. Chris, with your 14-1 self.
I've got 9, I guess, if you count the team total that I'm gonna give you.
Yep.
So first pick, I'm gonna do Mizzou plus 13.5 at home against Georgia. I'm also gonna take over Mizzou's team total of 17.5. I like them. This Georgia offense is not good at all. Mizzou's offense is pretty good. I think they can score on this defense. I absolutely think they're gonna put up points. There's a world where Georgia might find themselves in quicksand.
JT Daniels,
they might collapse.
He's working with the ones this week.
Okay, that's fine. I need to see JT Daniels play football.
I know.
BC plus 13.5 at home against Notre Dame. Love that game. Iowa minus 3.5 on the road against Minnesota. I just don't think Minnesota's a very good football team.
No,
I just don't. I can't buy them. Diving all the way into the stink with Va-Tech minus 2 at home against Miami. Arkansas plus 17.5 at Florida. Northwestern with you right there. Minus 3 against Purdue. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I think Northwestern will find a way to make stops. I do not believe Purdue will find a way to make stops. North Carolina minus 13.5 at home against Wake Forest. I loved hearing Mac Brown say, it is a priority to beat teams in my state. That gives me confidence that he is going to run the score up if he can.
Yeah.
And I need coaches to do that, to cover big numbers. I'm putting a lot of faith in that. I was not going to do this. I made up my mind before the week started. I made up my mind last Monday that I was not off the lane train, but I was probably going to be out on the Ole Miss stuff. I can't do it. One more time into the drink. Give me the Rebels minus 11 at home against South Carolina.
We had a guy jump in. Sippy's Sports Show said, are we taking questions? We do that more so on the Saturday morning show. So
we don't have time on the Tuesday show.
11 a.m. Eastern time on Saturday morning. You can jump back in with us.
Or you can tweet us questions.
Yeah, you can always follow us on Twitter. I'm at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
Very easy to do. All right, let's jump into parlays and teasers for the week. As far as money line parlays go, I am 4-4 on the season at plus 1.94 units, so not too shabby. And 7-point teasers, I'm 2-4 on the season for Exactly 0 units. So every 7-point teaser is going to be plus 200. Moneyline parlays are just, whatever. So I tell you what they are beforehand. The moneyline parlay for this week: North Carolina, Marshall, Cincinnati, Appalachian State, Arkansas State, Ohio State, Florida, and Coastal Carolina. All of those 8 teams there just to win. All they got to do is win.
That's all they have to do.
Plus 129.
Just all that chalk.
So, $10 win you back $12.90.
Just cough it up.
You got a plus return. I'm just saying. All they got to do is win the game. Ain't got to even worry about it. 7-point teaser. Again, 2 and 4 on the 7-point teasers. Those have not been nearly as successful, but it's still 0 for the unit. So all I got to do is hit 1. We'll be right back up there. So it's all good. Here we go. Vandy and Kentucky under 49. There ain't no way that they're getting to 49 points. There ain't no way they're getting to 50. There ain't no way. They may not get to 42. I'm telling you. Arkansas plus 24.5. I like that quite a bit because I feel like if Florida gets up, I don't think they're going to run it out on these guys. I think they like them too much. Hawaii and San Diego State under 60. San Diego State was embarrassed last week at home. I think they take it out on the Rainbow Warriors coming back over to the mainland. And I'm going to take Tulsa and SMU under 71. I buy into that Tulsa defense. Absolutely love them here. I think they are going to slow down SMU, especially without their best weapons. Give me that. So
somebody's got 2 plays on here. One guy, Nathan, with Texas A&M Tennessee game. That game has been postponed.
Yes. A&M and Tennessee has been postponed. Mississippi State and Auburn has been postponed. Alabama LSU has been postponed. Memphis at Navy and Air Force at Wyoming. And I would be willing to bet there will be more as the week goes along. All right. You guys know what to do. Go ahead and like the video for us, if you would so kindly. We certainly appreciate that. And make sure that you leave your comments. We want to know what you're taking this week. We've already got several guys jumping in with their money line parlays, with their picks. Tell us what you like this week. We want to hear your advantage, where the edge is, all that good stuff. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel. We will be back here on Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Share the show out. Tell your friends about it. Share the channel. Tell everybody, say, run in. You got to check out Gary and Chris. Chris went 14-1 against the spread the last 2 weeks. So jump in and help us out with that. Share it out. Spread the love. All that good stuff. Go over to sbrpicks.com/NCAAF. Go to sbrpicks.com/pick6. That's PICK and the number 6. And make sure that you follow us on Twitter. Again, we're not going to be able to cover every game on this show, but if you tweet at us, we will respond, and we will let you know what we think about whatever game you want to know about. I am at Gary WCE.
I'm at Chris B. Giannini.
And for sportsbookreview.com, I'm Gary.
And I'm Chris.
We'll see you again on Saturday.